Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so this is a response to a comment in my last video. This comment is from Wherecar 54, which is a viewer. He's about 2 steps away from a troll, to be honest. He is pretty critical of just about everything. He writes, and you can read this in the description of this video. Funny. I mean, he's talking about signs of regret and whether I'm regretting not getting the OP, which is what I talked about in yesterday's video. He writes, funny, not a sign of regret? Even though you said you were going to get it, I think you have it backward. You should have bought the Rolex first and then buy the Tudors. One day you'll figure it out, but not today, obviously. I love the last part. It's just so catty. One day you'll figure it out, but not today, obviously. Well, why do I have to wait until that time? Why don't you enlighten me? What I think this is projection. I don't think he understands why you would want to get the Tudors first. And let's talk about that, because it brings up something very interesting. Now, if you've ever seen or read The Little Prince, well, it's a book, originally a book. I think it was written in the 1940s by Saint Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who was a pilot. And it's a fantastic book. It's labeled a children's book, but I think it's mostly adults that like it. It's a fantastic book, and in it, the little prince on his home planet has a rose, and he loves her, and on his travels he meets many roses. He goes to a place and there's just a wall full of roses, and he realizes that his rose is not unique. He was under the impression that she was unique in all the world, and to see all of these roses just like her sort of made him realize that she wasn't, and he was confused by it. Later he meets the fox, who enlightens him as to the uniqueness of his rose. And I think I can draw a parallel between pre-owned watches and new watches. The interesting thing about the pre-owned market, and one that I particularly like, is that these watches have a history and a personality all themselves. They are unique. I was looking at a post. It was for watch for sale. It was Polar Explorer 2, and it was an M serial. In fact, it was a great price on it. This was on the Rolex forums. Fantastic price. I think it had box papers. It has the 3186 parachrome, blue parachrome spring movement. And so it's a really neat watch. Now, that watch is that watch. It's not one of many. It's a unique watch. It's pre-owned. It's right there. And when it is gone, it's gone. And in my last video, I said that if you're thinking about going pre-owned and new, get the pre-owned watch first. And I mainly said because prices are going up, and that's a good reason. But another reason is oftentimes you will find a piece, and it's a pre-owned piece, and it is unique because all pre-owned pieces have a history and a service history and wear and tear and box or no box, papers, no papers, an origin. And when you find that one pre-owned piece that you've set your sights on, it is unique. It is unique. And it's much more unique than one of many new Rolexes at the boutique. If you've got your heart set on a ceramic sub, a new ceramic sub from an AD, well, one is pretty much like the other. They're going to come almost like a blank slate for you to make your history with. Whereas if you're looking at 14060 no date subs, you're going to come across a few, and some may not meet your criteria, but you're going to come across a few, a handful, that are that pique your interest, and they are unique, and when they sell, they're gone. And so in regards to the Tudor that I got, both of the Tudors, let's just talk about the Bluesy. Now, it was a box papers blue dial Tudor. It didn't have Tiger on the dial, which I'll talk about that, but that was one of the requirements. I didn't want Tiger on the dial. Again, when I really go into the Tudors, I'll mention about that, but that was a sponsorship thing with Tiger Woods, and so some Hydronauts have Tiger on the dial, and that was not something I wanted. I didn't want another person's name on my watch. And so the response here from Wherecar 54, when he says, "I think you have it backward. You should have bought the Rolex first and then buy the Tudors." Well, I don't think you figured it out. Those Tudors are unique, and they were and are sort of one of a kind in the sense that once that Bluesy sold, that Bluesy would have been gone. Could I have found another Bluesy? Possibly, but it wouldn't have been that Bluesy. And the papers would have been different, and the history would have been different, and the condition would have been different, and everything would have been different. And so to make as if I could have even found those Tudors down the road is ridiculous. And how you can't get your head around that is beyond me. Pre-owned pieces are unique, and when you find one that you like, you've got to jump on it, because you will never get an opportunity to get that watch again. Whereas if you're talking a new piece, the piece that they ordered for me that arrived, I don't know what it, from Adam, and there's many more like it. There's many more out there to be had, and they're going to come unpolished with their non-history to be made. And one is pretty much just like the other. Yeah, there'll be small differences in regard to accuracy and how exactly it runs. That's the uniqueness of a mechanical watch. But the sub-C you see in one AD is pretty much like the sub-C in another AD. And so there's really no rush to buy those, okay? So that is one of the interesting things about the pre-owned market, and one that I love, because you guys saw when I went to get the Bluesy how many Rolexes I saw. I know I saw very few Tudors, but out of all of those many GMTs and subs that I saw, there was only one Hydronaut. There was only one, and I got it. And I wouldn't have been able to get it if I had possibly waited. Okay, so it's one of the things that makes the pre-owned market an exciting shopping place, because this 3186 polar movement polar, when it's gone, and you might be able to find another M serial, but you might not. And so that's an incredibly fun thing about the hunt. So the order in which I did it makes total sense. But of course, if you think otherwise, then Wherecar 54, I look forward to your response. Prove me wrong. Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.